Okay, are we live? Someone just put in the chat if we're live right now. Can you hear me? Oh, no, it says we're live on the upper corner. Okay. So hi, everyone. Thank you for joining my first live stream. I wanted to start by talking a little bit about, sorry, I dropped something. Talking a little bit about something that Annie P actually mentioned in the video that she posted this morning. She talked about the community, the true crime community. And so I wanted to, I guess, talk about my background and how I see things. So I have a master's degree in education with a concentration in community engagement and specialization in nonprofit leadership. With community engagement, the whole idea behind that is basically a community already has everything it needs. You just have to kind of help tap into that, which is why in this true crime community of Justice for Mica, I'm trying to share and collaborate with other content creators. So I thought it was really interesting that Annie P actually had talked about that in a video this morning. So I'm trying to think of the best way to get started. What I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to see if I can show that video from Annie P.
Okay, good morning. It is very early in the morning, but unfortunately, I have to touch on a subject that is just seems to be never ending, and so now I'm going to end it.
So I wanted to show the one of this one. Sorry. Wait, that can't be it. Wait, what happened to it? This. So right here, Mica's phone, Dick's pawn shop in search of Lumber River State Park. And why isn't that in the search? That's one I had noticed also. Let me see. Yeah, and that's actually one of the images that I have saved to go over with you today. Where is that other one that she did? She did another one about, shoot, let me see if it was a short. Let's see. So yeah, Parminder Kumar. And then the iPhone Guru also did a video, a short, that I didn't quite understand. It was this one about Infinity Jewelers. Right. So I'm going to tie this all together in 1 second. Don't worry. And then shorts. This one. Okay, so the reason I'm showing that is, nope, wrong one. Oh, yep, my bad, wrong one. Sorry, I'm trying to see how to do the pop out. Here we go. Right there. Now, of course, Google Earth is being very slow. Refresh page. Is that the one? Now, of course, done. Well, I do have map images. Okay. So here I had put pins, 41 Grocery and Grill, Galavant's Ferry. That is the street that JP got pulled over on. I also have a pin here at Bear Bluff, North Carolina, just in case it wasn't actually the Bear Bluff, that I do hear Bear Bluff. And then I also have a pin in Orem, North Carolina, which is where Mica was located. Other one here, this is just a wider view to also show Southport, North Carolina, because I had been wondering the same thing, that Annie was short that we played a minute ago. And now I want to see if I can find image, and then no iPhone, because I thought it was strange. So I went on to see what the different symbols mean, because she had the navigation symbol for Southport. Wrong one. Southport. So I was trying to find out, why would she have been going to Southport? I tried to look to see if that's where the friend moved, her friend Charlotte. And I can't remember what video they talked about where she moved to specifically in North Carolina, but Southport is in North Carolina. And then I know there was a viewer who commented that the movie, there was a movie about domestic violence. Now I can't think of the name of it. And that took place in Southport. And so that was what that was for, but that didn't make sense to me, because it shows that he went there. It gave her directions. So if anybody has any ideas what that's about, please put it in the comments. But yeah, the yellow icon indicates a shop. Dick's dropped pin where she was in Lumber River, but the police said, the Robeson County Sheriff's Department said that she Googled directions to the Lumber River State Park. And I don't see that here. Okay, so we'll close that. Another thing I had wanted to show was, where is it? Exhibit Q. And Jeep. Okay. So on May 2nd, Nabil Shahzad wrote a Facebook update because apparently Mica had gone to his shop, the Infinity Jewelers, on April 26th, spent 4 hours there, and I believe got a free necklace. So, and then he uploaded this to Facebook. This was a journal entry that Mica had sent in a text message to him. What I thought was strange is that we have the date over here 4, and then the day over here 21, and then there's a gap right here. So I don't know if Mica wrote out the date backwards, like with the year and the day backwards. And when I do look at the handwriting, it looks similar to me. So I'll put these side by side. And this one is from the affidavit, Exhibit Q. So if anybody is a handwriting expert or wants to look into that more closely, please take a screenshot. One thing I did think was strange about this from Exhibit Q was some of the wording. Humble man who is good to your family and good to you. Now, if this was my journal, I would say good to my family and good to me. So I did think that that was strange. Back to the journal entry that Mica had texted a couple of her friends, though. She said, "Dear God, thank you for a great dinner. I have to enlarge that. Great dinner. They're so positive and full of wisdom. I need to make this larger. I cannot see a thing. I'm getting old. Oh my gosh. 99%. Bring that up to 100. That's not big enough. There we go. Dinner with Bruna and Linda. They are so positive and full of wisdom. 2, safe travels back from Wilmington. 3, getting a free necklace from Nabil. 4, giving me the financial freedom to make my first donation to Nabil's ministry in Pakistan. So 2 things there that I wanted to know more about: Wilmington and Nabil's ministry. So I'm going to X out of these. The post. So this is Nabil's details from Facebook. It says founder Infinity Jewelers, Winning Souls Ministries International. I did try to see if there was any connection between Winning Souls Ministries and Solid Rock Ministries. Now, Winning Souls Ministries, his church was originally at the same location as Solid Rock. I'm going to see if I can open that now. Cathedral Baptist. April 21st. Is that it? Yeah. Yeah, that's it. Okay. So this is Winning Soul Ministries. So they were in Myrtle Beach, and then they had posted something saying that they were going to be moving to the Marion campus. But then for the Marion campus, I wasn't able to find an actual address, but I was able to find, what was it called? Bible College, the Bible College. But then I wasn't sure if that would definitely be the same thing or not. Got rid of his. Where did my other picture go? Oh, damn it. Okay. This was from April 21st, 2024. I don't know if this is the Wilmington that Mica was referring to. There's a picture of her and Bruna, who she referenced in her journal entry. I don't know who the other people are in the picture, but I believe it was, I don't know if it was like a bachelorette party or a birthday party, but it seemed to be one of those kinds of celebrations. Oh, this is the post. No, that's not that post, but Cathedral Bible College, that's the name of it. Okay. Map images. I'm probably gonna get rid of the map images. I feel like there's been a lot of already showing. Was there anything new in this one? No. No. That's just Galvance Ferry. That's where the owner of 41 Bar and Grill lives and where JP was pulled over. Okay. Okay. So then one other thing I had wanted to show was the, where is it? Okay. Now I'm just going to scroll through this and try to find the notary markings. And I actually do have a notary bag. I'm going to show you guys what kinds of stamps they give and what they do, what the notary sales look like. Okay, so this person is Megan Marie Ola. So I looked up that person on the South Carolina. Here. On the South Carolina Notary Registry. And this person is a notary, public, and the expiration is 4/13/2030 in Horry County. So I'm going to minimize that. So this is a legitimate notary seal. I'm showing you that because of the one I'm sure everybody has also noticed. Watch it be the very last page. That'll be my luck. All right, here we go. Exhibit FF. This is the affidavit for the emergency hospitalization. Okay, so down here. All right. See this? That's like a notary, looks kind of like a notary stamp. That looks like a partial stamp. There's also like some writing right here. It looks like that could be part of a stamp. It's kind of hard to tell. Now, I took a screenshot of the video that Agatha May did last night because does anybody notice any familiar names on here? Katrina Presley. Okay, she is a clinical director of the South Strand. Oh my gosh, you can't? Oh. Where's it? Sorry, guys. I did not know you could not see what I was sharing. Let me see if I can. Share my screen. Oh my gosh, you guys have been sending me so many messages. Oh, all right. It is my first live stream, so but thank you for trying so hard to get my attention. Okay. All right, share. Okay. So this is the document. Katrina Presley. Where is this? And then this, oh, actually, well, no, that one probably won't share. But okay, if anybody saw the video that Agatha May did last night, she showed the clinical directors of the different Waccamaw psych hospital clinics. The one in South Strand, that clinical director was Katrina Presley. So I thought it was interesting that Katrina K. Presley is also the person who notarized the documents. What I thought was even more strange was, let's see, I'm probably gonna have to stop sharing this to share this other. Navigating live is a new experience, guys. Okay, let me see. Images. Wait, is it not going to let me show the images? Window. Oh my gosh, I don't know if it's going to let me share the images. All right, yeah, I'm just going to share the entire screen then. Oh, it's weird looking. Okay. No, of course I can't find the document. Here we go. Okay, so I'm going to scroll back up really, really fast. That's page, so that was page 81. Okay, page 81. And then okay. So this is the one I was showing a little while ago that you guys probably didn't get to see. This shows what a proper notary seal would look like by Megan Marie Ola. And I did have the image. I checked on the South Carolina notary search. Let me see if, yeah. Okay, and she is in the registry as in Notary Public, all right? And that is what it's supposed to look like. So then if we go back down to, I think it was Exhibit FF, page 81. Okay, this is the one by Katrina Presley. That looks odd. Then there's also like only a partial notary stamp right here. And then there's something right here that kind of looks like it could be part of one, but this document just looks strange. So where's hers? So last night in Agatha May's video, she did show the clinical directors, Katrina Presley, as the clinical director of South Strand. And then I turn on the registry and it says no results found. So, but then I thought it was odd that she is also the director of the mental hospital. And according to the affidavit, she didn't even see Mica herself. She is diagnosed with bipolar disorder, has stopped taking medication. She's having hallucinations, delusions, impulsive behaviors, verbal aggression, psychosis, spelled wrong, threats towards others and self. She's refused to go to the hospital patient refuses to go to the hospital, so it's going to be involuntary. But the way it's worded, like, I also don't like that. And Faith Green. So for both Katrina Presley and Faith Green, I did like a little bit of digging just to see like what their credentials were, in what capacities they might have been treating Mica. And honestly, it's just kind of a clusterfuck, quite frankly. South Carolina law did show that they do need to be licensed clinicians. Treating somebody, I only saw licensure for one of the people, I think it was Faith. But then I was thinking, you know, how does Katrina Presley do that if she's not registered as a notary? And then I didn't see an NPI number for her, but I don't know, maybe there is a way for NPI numbers not to be listed. Maybe in South Carolina, a person can practice certain therapies without being licensed. So I do need to do more digging on that. But I also do have my notary seal. And just like keeping in mind, of course, I haven't used this in years because I moved. And when you move, you have to like officially notify them that you moved in order to keep your notary active. So let me grab my bag so I can show you. So they give you a bag. Okay. Well, you have to pay for it, but bag, Notary Public. You get these really cool gold stickers so you can stamp them. Makes them look very official. Look at this. Okay, that's the stamp. I'm using the wrong word. Emboss, maybe emboss. There's I can't think of the word for that. Now you can't hear? Are you kidding me? Can you hear me right now? Can you hear me? Somebody please respond and let me know. All right, is it just Veronica who can't hear me? Can other people hear me? Okay, thank you, Stephanie. So Veronica, you might have it on mute, hon, because other people can hear me. Wow, everything is going wrong with the live stream today, huh? Okay. And then somebody had asked about page 3. All right, let me go back to page 3 really, really quick. I'm not going to share my screen again because Lord only knows what problems we'll have then. Let me see. Oh, did you mean page 3 of the one that was notarized by Katrina Presley? That one, because the clinician was Faith Green. Faith Green was the clinician. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to continue showing a few more of the notary things. This is a stamp. Okay, I'm going to show you what it looks like on paper in a minute. What all these things together will look like. And then another one. All right. And I was going to throw these things away. I'm kind of glad I didn't now, because this is like the one way you can use them again. Another thing to give. So this is at least from Massachusetts. And I don't know how this got so dirty, because this has been in the trunk of my car for, I think, 12 years. So complete notary records book. So a notary is required to keep a record of everything they notarize, okay? They're required to keep a record of that. They also give you a notary manual, so you can like check the do's and don'ts, what is and is not okay. Okay, now I'm going to grab a blank sheet of paper. Okay, blank sheet, right? All right. So now I'm going to do my square one. Okay. Comes through like that. I'm going to do the other one. Oh, and that one didn't actually come out very well. The ink is really good, I'll say. It kept this long. I did it twice because it didn't really leave much of a mark the first time. So that's what that looks like. Then we're going to, these are only used on certain documents. Okay, right now it just looks like a regular gold circle. I haven't used this step in so long now, I don't even remember which way to do it. Okay, so there it is. Okay, that is what the official notary stuff looks like. All right. Glad this stuff finally came in handy. It was expensive. So another thing I came upon that I had in the bag was, did I already put that in there? No. Okay. Put that stuff to the side. All right. The do's and don'ts. Okay, and this is like a quick guide almost for notary publics. Okay. So under the do list, it says take oath of office before conducting any notary duties. Okay. You're supposed to examine the document, check to see if there have been any alterations, make sure that there are no blank lines unfilled. If there are blank lines, cross them out and have signer initial. That's not present on that document. There are blank lines that are not filled out with anything. Obtain proper identification from all document signers. Hopefully this notary did it. Determine the competency and willingness of all signers. Be sure all document signers appear before the notary. If all parties cannot be present, your certificate should reflect exactly which parties appeared before you. This document didn't say anybody was or was not present, so that would indicate that both parties were present, which would be Faith Green and John Paul Miller and Katrina K. Presley. Sign your name on each document you notarize. Be sure the date of the document is not later than the date of the notarization. Keep a written record of every notarization you make. Have all parties sign your record book exactly as signed. Don't act as a notary in any matter in which you hold a personal interest. So I know in one of the 911 calls, Mica was concerned that John Paul was then going to have access to her notary stamp, and she didn't want him to notarize and sign her name on a power of attorney document. If it was her seal used on it, that would make it invalid. And hopefully, when it was filed with the court, somebody looked at that to see who the actual notary was and to make sure that the names weren't the same. Don't act as a notary until your commission has been approved by the state. Don't certify to an acknowledgement of an instrument unless you have personal knowledge of the identity of the parties, or you have carefully researched the identity of the parties. Failure to do so is negligence, and you may be held legally responsible for any liabilities or damages arising from such negligence. Don't certify a person's affidavit without first administering an oath. Legal penalties may result. Don't practice law unless you are an attorney. Giving legal advice or drafting legal documents for a fee is considered to be practicing law in most states. Don't perform any notary activities after your commission has expired. Be sure to file for renewal. So, I can't think of any other reason for Katrina Presley to not be in the registry. Wait. South Carolina notaries are not required to keep a log, but it is highly recommended. Okay, good to know. Let me see. I'm just going to look back at some of the comments here really quick. Oh, Veronica, thank you. You tried so hard to get my attention. You're a sweetheart. Yeah, so the Southport on her phone is still up in the air. We still don't know what that was about. The notary, Katrina K. Presley, yeah, it said no record found of her. That one's still up in the air, if that's even a legitimate legal notarized document. I don't think it is, but I'm only speculating. There were other things I had noticed with the screenshots of the like the My Health thing from when she was seen at the different mental hospitals. And that's the thing, is that we don't know technically what facility that was from. There aren't dates. There was an overlap, so like the last thing written on one photo was not the top thing in the next photo to show like an even flow of text. And there were a lot of discrepancies from what I could tell. A lot of discrepancies. I'm not sure if other people had already been looking at that. If you want, we can like go through the document. I also am afraid to share my screen again. I know I had other photos. Faith Green. Actually, I don't know that I want to show the pictures I have of Katrina and Faith and like their professional information. That'd feel like a bit like a violation. Then, of course, there's just keeps being more and more information. It's almost like I feel like I'm going down a rabbit hole, because every time I start looking into one thing, I get new information, and then I make a note about that. And then sometimes I switch right over to that. Sometimes I finish looking into what it is I'm looking into. But there's so much information on this. Honestly, I'm probably going to have to schedule another live for some time in the near future to go through more of this stuff. But for me, the big thing was that the legal document, the exhibit was it FF? Yeah, FF. Katrina Presley, there's no record of her being a notary public in the state of South Carolina. Katrina Presley is also registered as the, now I can't remember if it was clinical director or medical director. Let me just look. Clinical director of the South Strand. So then to me, it was strange that she would be able to notarize that, because then doesn't the court have their own notary? Does anybody watching work in the courts? No. Also, I have the chat on a 60-second delay. So in case anybody is commenting, I won't see it for a few seconds. Because courts do have their own notaries, right? Am I imagining that? And now that I have the comments up and I'm watching them, nobody's just commenting. Yeah, no one's commenting. Well, anyway, those are things I want to look more into. I'm going to look more into, do South Carolina courts have their own notaries, or are different courts like different in that way, where some do, some don't? Our medical director, or not medical director, what was it? I can never remember this woman's title now. Clinical directors. Can clinical directors notarize something? And does the person have to be a patient there? I don't know who was treating her there. There were so many different doctors that were prescribing her different medications. From the different screenshots in the affidavit that JP had filed. So there was Duchesne, Dr. Lynn. Then there were text messages with that person, Derek. And typically, mental health medications will be prescribed by one provider all the way through, so that there isn't any confusion, so that the person doesn't like reach toxic levels of things. That's something I can't tell if I'm even still live right now, because this looks so weird right now. Can you hear me, guys, still? Am I still live? Because just like that, the comments stopped, and then ever since, none have come through. Are people texting me? Oh. All right. Well, if people don't comment that they want me to open back up the affidavit and go through. Oh, thank you, Marcy. I appreciate you. That's the thing, is that it's such a long document and there is so much to go through in it. And I've noticed so many discrepancies. And that's the thing, is that there are so many discrepancies. There is one I wanted to just point out. See really quick. Share my screen. Okay, share. Okay, I really hope you guys can see this. I'm gonna go down to F, Exhibit F. Okay. Here we are. Okay, so this one. Wait, wait, let me just pull this. Okay, perfect. So this shows the known problem or diagnoses and its status. JP kept referencing that she had bipolar disorder and she was manic. In February, he kept saying that she was in a manic state, but next to mania under status, it says unavailable. So I thought that was strange. I wanted to point that out. Also, for February, there's only one, I guess, new diagnosis that she got in February, and that was the acute psychosis. One thing I thought was weird was that every time John Paul talks about her bipolar, he talks about delusions, he talks about different psychotic features, but here it says bipolar disorder, current episode, manic without psychotic features. And I do understand, it could be back to the date of onset, November of 2022. And then they probably just added on the additional acute psychosis diagnoses. But in every text message, every email that he talks about her being bipolar and having psychotic features. So I thought that this was weird that it was marked as manic without psychotic features. So I wanted to point that out. I also think it's very strange that they did diagnose her with dependent personality disorder. I do want to be clear here. I am not a licensed professional, but I hopefully will be soon. But from my understanding of dependent personality disorder, and I have met people, I have worked with clients who were diagnosed with dependent personality disorder. I truly just cannot understand why they could have diagnosed her with that. So I know other people have also pointed this out. I found this strange, the nicotine patch, because on there was another page where it said history of smoking, no. And I want to see if I can find that now. That might be the one at the end. Okay. This one. LL. Exhibit LL. Yeah, so she saw Dr. Lynn. And right here. So that's the thing, is that because of these apps, they make it almost like confusing to understand exactly what it is you're looking at. So here there's the asterisks and it says see addendum, medication reconciliation report. I can't tell if that's what this is or if medication reconciliation report is elsewhere, but it does say that they are going to discontinue the Zyprexa 10 milligrams. And then it doesn't look like anything else. Yeah, according to this, nothing else was discontinued. see. Where's the other one? This one right here states that she was in the wrong. Was it that one? Sorry, I wrote out on the actual sheets of paper. So for that one, okay. For that one, there was also the email that John Paul had sent on December 22nd, Exhibit J. And if I go like back and forth on this, this live stream was gonna last for 5 hours, and I don't think any of us want that. That was the email entitled Our Life. Okay. One of the paragraphs he wrote was, my hope is that you can look back and say, I can't believe I showed the nurses and doctors and security guards my boobs. I can't believe I would sing everything is opposite when you believe in God every 5 minutes. She was in the wrong. So when she states that she was in the wrong, I was wondering maybe this is one of the times she was singing that. Thought process is disorganized, talking about brother and POA, power of attorney, and sister in law, put a W there, law, Lacey. She was saying in the 911 calls that she couldn't trust Lacey further than she could throw her. And this was also one of the instances when she was concerned about him having her notary stamp. So then this had to be, oh yeah, this actually was the one in February because it did say at the top that's when it was. Okay, and then also Exhibit J. Oh man, I wish I had taken pictures of these so I could just like show you. Under number 5, the truth. Second paragraph, JP wrote, I feel like somehow I deserve this. My flesh can't help but think about my past and how if blank knew what was going on, they'd be so happy and celebratory. Now, when I say blank, that part was blacked out. And I think that what's blacked out was Allison, his first wife. That's the thing. I was trying to figure out what things were being omitted. So I'm going to read it again with my suspicion of what word was blacked out, okay? I feel like somehow I deserve this. My flesh can't help but think about my past and how if Allison knew what was going on, they'd be so happy and celebratory. I think that would make sense just because Mica had an affair with JP when he was still married to Allison. Sorry, I'm just trying to make sure I'm not missing anything in this chat. Counselor, MSED, LPC, LAC. Thank you, Cindy. No, but she was the one. Katrina was the one that I couldn't find an NPI number. That's the National Provider Identifier. Okay, so I'm going to keep going. Whoops, down on this. So on this page, by the way, for the Exhibit LL, it does say thought process is disorganized, talking about brother and power of attorney, sister in LA, which I believe is sister-in-law being Lacey. And then it goes on to say, out of my charity, it is unclear if patient has been taking medication as she reported. This part is like very weird, okay? Denies all except for Delta H gummies, okay? People who eat gummies don't refer to them as Delta 8 or anything else like that. They call them gummies. They call them gummies. Okay, and then here, history of abuse, trauma, no. Tobacco cessation history, no. So why was she prescribed the nicotine patches? And why did John Paul say, what page are we on? 91. No. Exhibit B, number 1, Mica grew up in an unstable home with about 10 step-parents in total. She lived with people unrelated to her for many years of her life before turning 18 due to problems with her mother. And now, there must have been a different document then that I'm thinking of, because I could have sworn there was something that said that she was abused on one of these. I'm going to go back to the chat because I'm sure one of you knows what I'm talking about. Do any of you? Do you guys remember there being, or something that JP had referred to as being abused by her own mother? Maybe that was in an email or a text, but I could have sworn that that was on the Exhibit B. Oh, I wrote here, according to texts, abused by mother. Excuse me. So that was in a text message. Okay. The next one down. Where's it? 91. Here. Next page. Where is that one? Sorry, I'm trying to find the page that starts with suicide risk detail assessment. Here. Okay, physical exam. So typically that part is done like early on after being admitted. General appearance: alert, awake, oriented, no acute distress, pleasant, conversational, mental status normal, no respiratory distress, musculoskeletal normal inspection, painless range of motion, no muscle spasm, gait normal, neuro, central nervous system normal inspection, normal speech. What I don't understand on this is her being psychotic and potentially a danger to herself and others is why she was involuntarily committed in the first place. So if upon exam they found her mental status was normal, she had a normal mental status evaluation, why was she held? That's baffling to me. I keep going back to the chat just to see if anyone is asking questions now or throwing in any input. Because yeah, if you guys know of instances when this does happen, please let me know. I'm just saying it's unusual to me, just based on my experience. Okay. Patient openly admits attempting wanting to get pregnant. That being true, it is not surprising that she tried to stop taking her medication. most of the medications that John Paul claims that she was prescribed, that he wanted her taking, would be harmful to a fetus. You're not supposed to take them. You're supposed to stop taking most of those when you're pregnant. But what I found strange also was that even in, I think it was an email, it's almost like he was dangling that in front of her. Dangling, I wanted to have a baby with you now that you weren't on medication. And then she would come off the medication and then, she's crazy. She's crazy. She's trying to kill other people, kill herself. It's not safe. So that really bothered me because if she did want to have a baby, for him to do that's not cool. Stop sharing. Okay. Holy shit, we still got 31 on here. So, are there any questions, any comments, anything anybody wants to throw out there before we end tonight? Also, thanks everyone so much for viewing my first live stream. There were a few kinks, but now I know that every time you pull up a new window, you have to reshare your screen. Anybody have anything else? Any comments? Anything they wanted to ask about? Anything I was talking about when I didn't realize I wasn't sharing my screen that you want me to go back to? His papers with Mica's. I thought the same thing, Stephanie. Yeah. No, because it really does seem that way, especially with the prescriptions labels. JP said a couple of weeks ago he had a vasectomy. Huh. Was that in one of the documents or was that in an interview? Lucinda. Well, I know that because I was trying to prepare for this and for other things that are coming up, I hadn't caught up on all the videos that people had posted, so I'm a little bit behind. Also, I know that lately I've been doing a lot of digging. I've been kind of like spending every spare moment I've had looking into Mica's case. And just so everybody is aware, I'm going to have like way less time beginning next week. So for the last 2 weeks, I've been on a break from school and my internship, but next week it starts again. So I'll be back to kind of like grabbing spare moments here and there when I can, and probably recording short videos from my phone sitting in my car during like a cigarette break or something. Because that's actually most of the streams, or not streams, but the videos I had done in the beginning. When I get information, I will continue to put it out there. If there's information that I'm getting and I can't do a video on it, I'm going to end up emailing that out to other content creators that I know, and have been trying to keep lines of communication open with. Please do the same. Because also, if you send me anything, just know chances are I won't get to it for like 3 days because of all the papers I'm always needing to write. So, okay. Wow, this was actually this was a little over an hour. Thank you all so much for watching. Thank you so much for your support. I really appreciate all of you, and have a great night.